Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. My dear friends, I am very saddened and heartbroken today. And you know why. And that has to do with what happened to the Muslim people in New Zealand, the attacks at the two mosques. Unfortunately, this incident, which is a terrorist attack against innocent Muslim people, is a heinous act that history is going to have to answer for. However, in the meantime, this was actually a wake-up call to the Muslim community around the world. Let me give you a little example here. A lot of people, when I ask them, what does the meaning of ummah means? About 99% of the time they say, it means nation. You're wrong. It does not mean nation. A nation, it has something to do with the geographical territory and the area where you lived and the link you had with your ancestry. So for example, if you were born in Arabia, you're considered an Arab as far as nationality and race is concerned. Or if you're born in Pakistan, you're considered Pakistani, and so forth and so on. But ummah actually means community. And community, the word community supersedes race, supersedes all kinds of different differences and, races, if you will. So, the reason I'm talking about the ummah, because the Prophet, peace be upon him, says that if a part of the ummah is in pain, the rest of the ummah feels it, because we're all part of the same community. Having said that, at this time, it is not more important than being able to go out there and get involved in the political process in whatever country that you live in, especially for those of us who live in the United States. Those of you who have decided to live in America, raise your children here, go to school, get an education, start a business, or whatever it may be, use the freedoms that has been granted to you and has been given to you by God and the government. So the point is, it is absolutely crucial for the Muslim Ummah, which is each and every one of you, that we need to be involved in this political process of this great country of ours, America. Whether you get involved or not, that's your decision. But if you do get involved in the political process, you can change that process, influence that process, change players, characters, and be able to hopefully elect representatives who are going to be out there for your spokesman, as being, representing your community, as your spokesperson. Just like other communities that are out there are doing this. For example, we have approximately less than half a dozen Muslims as senators in the United States, by the grace of Almighty Allah. About a decade ago, we had 0. So we are making progress, but very slow. So as a community, it is absolutely paramount that we get involved in interfaith activities, get involved in our communities, mosques, churches, synagogues, and other activities, and bring about multicultural utopia, love, and peace for everyone. And that happens with education. Starts with education. People are not born with hate. They are taught hate. Unfortunately, there is a segment of the population out there who has access to this internet, which today is considered the age where communication and media is uncentralized, and everybody out there with their own phones, with a few platforms like Facebook and YouTube and Google and other things can go out there and do a lot of good or do a lot of damage. And in this case, this individual caused a lot of damage. As American Muslims, if we want to live in this country, it's important for us to also know the American history. Study about what the founding fathers said. Like Jefferson, Washington, John Adams, Jackson, so many of these great presidents. So we need to make sure that we go back and look at the great founding fathers of America who were able to put together a government that has three branches that I call it J-Lee: judiciary, legislative, and executive. These are the three branches of the government that it creates checks and balances and an equilibrium. So not all the power is just given to one particular group in order to create a centralized iron fist government, kind of like what we see in China or Russia, North Korea, and other parts of the world. So be grateful that you have been given this wonderful opportunity to live your life as a free man and woman. Don't take all these rights that have been given to you as an American citizen for granted. The founding fathers fought for these freedoms that you and me enjoy today. We had a civil war between North and South, and it had to do with abolishing slavery. Now, I don't want to get into the details of that, but this great country of ours has also gone through lots of reformation until it is where it is today. Having said that, the rights that you have been granted by the Constitution, which is unalienable rights to live as a free man and woman, right to education, right to, you have a right to practice your faith or your religion, property rights, so many great, you have the right to open up a business because we live in capitalism and be independent. So you have all these great rights that have been granted to you by God and by government of this great country of ours. And you shouldn't take it for granted. You should go and study it, see the benefits of it, and be a great and good citizen. As a Muslim community, it is absolutely essential for us to be involved in our communities. For instance, it's extremely important that we elect Muslim council members, Muslim mayors, senators, just like, for example, Senator Omar from Minnesota, or Senator Rashida from Michigan, or Senator Keith Ellison in Minnesota, who's the Attorney General at this time. So it is by the grace of the Almighty Allah that we have a few great Muslims who are out there involved in the political arena, but that's not enough. We're way, way far behind. So we need to be able to diffuse Islamophobia. And the way to diffuse Islamophobia is to get involved in the political arena, interfaith and religious arenas, and let the people and all the world know who we are as Muslims. Peaceful people, not hateful people. Those who go out there and who hijack our faith in the name of God and do all kinds of damage and then try to put the blame on the rest of us. But thank God, the Quran has told us that we don't believe in collective guilt. Anybody who does any sin, his sin is on him or her. They are responsible for their own sin. We don't bear the responsibility of anybody's sin. Everybody is responsible for their own sin. So we need Muslim mayors, like I said, city council members, and get involved in the local and federal level governments, and hopefully be able to educate the communities out there and turn around this negative pessimism that they created, this false narrative that they have created in order to bash the Muslims with it as terrorists. So we need to change that narrative and bring a positive narrative in its replacement. And the positive replacement is going to take a lot of effort. We need to try to replace pessimism with optimism and activism. That's the process. So in order to be able to get into that point, we need to get out of our shells, get out of our cocoons, get out of our homes, and go out there and be involved with whatever party you may be involved with, like Democrats or the Republicans. Whatever your choice is, that's up to you. But it's extremely important that you get involved as a Muslim and be able to make an impact and let them know who we are and what we believe and what we stand for. Because if we don't get involved, the price we're going to pay is that other politicians out there who are going to make decisions that are going to affect our communities. And then you're going to say, oh, why did this happen to us? You know, why? So, the youth needs to be aware that the only way they can diffuse tension with respect to other people who may have horrible ideologies of hate. So in order to eradicate that is to be doing the opposite. You show love, you show kindness, you show generosity. According to the Pew Research that has been done recently, as I mentioned before, a lot of our youth are leaving God and religion, and they're getting involved in witchcraft, astronomy, astrology, and other things that's going to affect them. And another recent study that's been done in California, they found out that the second largest so-called religion in California now is Buddhism, after Christianity. How did that happen? Well, look at the communities that are involved. Why am I telling you we should get involved in our communities? Look at the Vietnamese community. Go in Westminster and Garden Grove. They're in the cities. Their mayor is their mayor is a Vietnamese. City council members are Vietnamese. You name it, they are everywhere. So these people are able to make a lot of changes in their community for their own benefit. And perhaps this is one of the reasons that Buddhist temples are popping up like hotcakes every corner here in Garden Grove, Westminster. I don't know if you've driven by and see what's going on around here. When was the last time there was a masjid built? All we see is Buddhist temples. So as you can see how active they are and what they're doing. And their faith is not even considered religion. It's actually an ideology. Because Buddhism is sprung out of Hinduism. Because Buddha himself actually was a Hindu. And what he did was he reformed it into Buddhism. And later his followers turned it into pantheism. So you have to understand what is going on is that while they're attacking Muslims, while they're blaming us for a lot of things out there, and then right under their nose, they're losing Christian souls to the Buddhists. And Buddhism has taken root here in California, and California soon enough will be an atheist state, where every corner you're going to see idols and statues and all kinds of beings that nor benefit you nor harm you. And as a result, what have we done as Muslims in our community? We haven't done anything. We just isolate ourselves. We don't get involved in any arenas. We're only to ourselves. And that's where we're going to end up losing, my dear friends. So it's important that we get involved and be active in our community, because if we don't go out there and educate the people, we're going to be seeing a lot of other incidents happen to the Muslim community. Because when these people out there do these things, it all has to do with the fact that these people don't know Islam, they don't know Muslims. It's all what they heard and what they've been told in the media. And they have been brainwashed to hate and to go out there and start causing harm to the community. So it is our responsibility as a community to go out there and get involved in all the aspects of our society, in the political arena, in the educational area, and so many other areas that we need to be involved in. So by the grace of Almighty Allah, I hope you understand the importance of getting involved in interfaith, and I hope I will see you on the next program. Assalamu alaikum, which means peace be unto you.